This is Bloomberg Daybreak Middle East. Much has been made in recent months about the apparent slowdown of the Dubai economy and the poor performance of its stock market, which was the world's worst performing index in 2018. So how are things looking then on the jobs front? We're now joined by the Chief Executive Officer of the online employment site Bayt.com, Rabea Ataya. Thank you very much for coming on the program.
Thank you for having me.
I mean, talk to me then about the sentiment that we're seeing in a lot of sectors in Dubai and in the United Arab Emirates, what you're seeing in terms of jobs for the new year.
So I guess we can take a look at this from both the perspective of the job seeker and the employer. In terms of job seeker counts, this region continues to be extremely attractive, and we're seeing more and more people registering to apply to jobs in the region. In fact, we get over 16,000 new registrants a day. And from an employer perspective, we've got a job index that we run very regularly to ask employers what they think their hiring activity is going to be like over the next 12 months. And we've just seen that index go up by 12 points, with over 75% of employers telling us they want to recruit in the next 3 months, and over 90%, so that's 9 out of 10, saying they want to recruit in the next 12 months. So I think there's at present, compared to at least the last 12 months, there seems to be a positive outlook in terms of the number of jobs being offered.
So how are we then in terms of the wider trends for the region? I mean, you said the initial signals are healthy. What are you reading into geographic specifics, though? Because, again, your footprint is quite wide. Yeah.
And it really does vary from city to city and country to country, and the optimism varies tremendously. So in Saudi, what's been happening, obviously, is we've seen business grow tremendously, but that's a byproduct of Saudization. So as that market has looked to localize more, the job count specific to locals have increased, while the overall job count has not increased much. The greatest optimism we see is actually in the UAE and Kuwait, where when you ask both job seekers and employers about their prospects for jobs over the next 12 months, the surveys overwhelmingly say that they both believe, in both geographies, they believe that their personal incomes will increase, as well as the prospects of finding a better job. Levant and North Africa, on the other hand, tell a very different story. And over there, in many of these countries, we're seeing record levels of pessimism. Yeah. I guess one perhaps outstanding story there is Syria, where we've suddenly seen an uptick in optimism as the Syrian population sees.
In terms of opportunities from this point onwards, you've been in this line of work for a while. I mean, Bayt has established itself as quite a name in the region. Where does the story go from here? I mean, do you raise more capital? Do you get more investors on board? What's the next big milestone?
So we're unique as far as internet businesses go. We've been around since 2000, so that's 18 years. We're still founder, operated and run, and we've been profitable and cash flow positive for pretty much most of the 18 years. So in a lot of internet businesses, you continue to see people having to run after increased investment. In our case, the business has been self-financing. We're increasingly getting into HR tech, so we have become the leading applicant tracking solution provider in the region. And we've already expanded to Europe and North America. We currently have an office in the US where we're selling HR tech to Fortune 500 companies, and that business is growing triple digits.
Yeah.
So lots of expansion still out there.
I mean, I look at the story of some of the regional brands that have come very far and were quite successful. I look at Souk.com, and then I see how Amazon took it over. And then I look at the story with Careem, and I see their conversations that they're having with Uber. I look at your business, and I start to think, well, is there something that could happen with LinkedIn, for example, or another tie-up of some form?
Yeah. So over the years, we've obviously had multiple offers to sell to multiple global players. And over the years, we've chosen not to do that. We continue to believe there's a great growth story. And our ambition as a business is to be that Middle Eastern business that goes out and acquires other businesses, not to be acquired by them. And so we continue to be confident in what we're doing, and until we see ourselves flattening out, which we haven't, we continue to truck along and enjoy the ride.
So, I mean, if you're not interested necessarily in getting taken over on the basis of principle, right? We're not talking about the basis of price. So I'm going to assume that's on the basis of principle. Does that mean you'd be open to going public?
That is something we've explored, and as the markets improve, that is something that we will continue to explore. So I believe that that remains a great option.
2020, what do you say?
Everything's possible. So if 2020 shows the uptick that we hope and expect it to, then
it could happen sooner. Where would you list? Would you list here in Dubai?
We've explored over the years different geographies, and I think it makes the most sense to do it in the Middle East because that's where our user base is. Today we have over 35 million registered users on Bayt. That's over 2/3 of the labor population that's online. People recognize us here, so it's a good place to be.
So I'll take Dubai as an answer?
Perhaps.
All right, we'll leave it there. That's Rabea Ataya. He's the Chief Executive Officer at Bayt.com with the latest on what's happening in the jobs market and some of their expansion plans.